Hello, hello.
Welcome back. Us, I guess. Welcome back to us. We've been out for a while now. Shame on us, really. But, yeah, you're listening to Redvolution Rampage. I am Omar.
I am Zach.
And I'm still Amanda.
Always
okay,
Amanda.
No one's changed their name over the period of time, so.
Yeah, I agree. It's been so long, but, it's understandable.
So, speaking of getting back on track, looks like the Carolina Hurricanes have gotten back on track, winning 5 of their last 6 after losing 4 straight. So, looks like they're actually getting back on track. It feels like the Flyer game was just a blip on the radar. Hopefully tonight against the Red Wings, they can take this thing to the house.
Oh, big time.
Pizza.
Big time. It's the battle of the red team.
Battle of the red teams, I guess. Which actually, it's funny enough because one of the things I hated about the old away jerseys was that against other red teams like the Capitals and Detroit, it was a nightmare to watch. But with the new jerseys, the crisp white ones with the lack of red in there, just the lettering and maybe a little bit on the sleeves, it actually cleans it up immensely and it makes it look very, very more, I guess, visually appealing on the ice.
Yeah.
Very true.
I agree, yeah. I was not a big fan of the jerseys when they first came out, but I guess they're kind of growing on me.
It's cool. It gives Carolina a chance to have a unique look every night, not just a recycled look. So you got your third jerseys, you got your original home reds, you got your Whalers jerseys, and now you've got your new away ones. So the question is, will we get a new jersey next year?
What would we do though?
I already know.
Right.
I already know that we might just be getting a new jersey, and I'll tell you. And then it won't be a new home jersey. It won't be a new away jersey. What's that?
We just got the new home jerseys like last season, or
was it 2 seasons ago?
2 seasons.
Wait, I think I know where you're going with this, Omar.
Yeah?
Are we talking outdoor game?
Yes, we are.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Although, I'll be honest, I don't want anyone who touched those LA and Avalanche jerseys to be anywhere near Hurricane jerseys, because those things are gross.
Yeah, really.
Actually, all the outdoor jerseys this year have been absolutely atrocious. Like the Dallas Stars and the Nashville Predators ones, I kind of get the throwback element, but just because it's a throwback doesn't mean it's good.
I mean, the only thing I like out of those 4 jerseys is the shoulder patch on Nashville. They brought back the old Predators logo. It looks great.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps, but that's a small element. It's not an overall great jersey.
And it's showing. They are not selling very well.
No, and I don't know if there needs to be a better element to this or what needs to happen, but I really don't want Carolina's. I mean, what can you do with Carolina? There isn't much of a throwback they already haven't done, right? They did the Whalers, and basically I would look for something new. I want a fresh new look, perhaps even maybe an element of the old thirds in there.
Maybe they'll go back to like a circle logo like countless teams have already done.
Yeah. No, I love the black jerseys though. I don't want them to touch those.
Well, this would be just a one-off time, right? So what if I'm saying like they threw back an element for the outdoor game. I guess
right.
When it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes, there really isn't unless and hear me out here, they go old school but to a different team.
Mm-hmm.
A different Raleigh team.
Ooh, the Ice Caps.
There we go.
Hmm.
If you look at the Raleigh Ice Caps logo, the chilling kind of, with the dome piece on top, what if they kind of went something like that, where it says Canes in that kind of the icy logo, and with the dome, instead of the Raleigh dome on top, a half Hurricanes kind of logo coming out from over it.
That's not a half bad idea. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's one way you can honor kind of the past of hockey in North Carolina, in Raleigh, and still have a fresh look to it. I don't know. I kind of have to see it. We'll see how they go forward with that if we get selected for an outdoor game. Maybe we're counting our chickens well before they're even, like, the eggs are laid.
Yeah, there should be an announcement pretty soon for that.
It'll probably be around the new year.
So it's still an if? I thought they were saying that was going to be in the 2021.
It's still an if at the moment.
But it's heavily leaning if.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, quite honestly, the team deserves it. Did you guys know what the attendance for last night's game was?
18,200?
About, yeah, almost a full house again. On a Sunday night. And we're talking a football Sunday night. The Panthers played.
Saturday night.
Saturday. It was Saturday.
Saturday night. Sorry, the Panthers were going to play.
Where Duke and UNC were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy. I thought it was really, really packed. I was really shocked. A couple of people were actually talking about that. The fact that it was like almost a sold out game and everybody's like, what is going on? It's a rainy, cold Saturday night. It's the Panthers. And it was like, what is going on? But there's going to be no complaint out of me. The more the better. But it was
sold out.
It was odd. It was odd.
Yeah, and people have said, maybe some of the lower seats weren't actually occupied, but they were sold. And I think this has to go back to their Thanksgiving marketing push.
That's what I was going to say. This game was on that whole turkey thing. That's how I got the tickets. I got turkey tickets through Jonathan Boggs. So they did have that.
Oh, are we shouting out Boggs already while he's still
Yes,
in the gym listening
Boggs.
to us?
Hey, Boggs. We haven't done that in a while. It's quite a few episodes since we've shouted out the Boggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably be on the treadmill while listening to this. So keep running, Boggs.
Run, Boggs, run. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and not only did the turkey deal go really well, they announced the Black Friday deal coming up, and that's going to sell a ton of tickets.
True.
Yeah. And that should be, the Black Friday game should be an interesting one to go see. For those of you who have yet to get a ticket, looking to get a ticket, trying to figure out whether or not you want to go, absolutely go. Canes hockey is a new beast. And if you're not there, you're pretty square. I'm just saying.
Do you think the Canes Preds game is going to be as vicious as it was before now that Subban's not there?
It might.
I see, Subban wasn't the be-all, end-all of that rivalry.
This is true. But he did have a big part in it.
We're talking about two teams that are jockeying for command of a very similar market.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, Nashville had that market. They're the team that went to to the Stanley Cup playoffs, to the Stanley Cup finals. Yes, they lost to the Penguins, but they went. Right. But now they're starting to become old news.
Yeah, but they're still throwing catfish on the ice.
Which is annoying.
Which is unsanitary, if you ask me.
Right.
Well, remember,
you gotta realize they gotta sneak it in there underneath their shirt.
Right. Well, also remember who the heck we're playing tonight. With the octopus.
Right, with the octopus. I don't know what's worse.
Night, huh?
What's next? People are going to sneak barbecue in?
Whoa. You don't need to sneak it in. They sell it right there in the concourse.
Oh, Ugh, yeah.
If you really want to throw barbecue on the ice, it's not really much of a hassle.
We are not condoning people throwing things on the ice at PNC Arena.
No,
No,
please
yeah,
don't.
nice. No, actually, we are condoning people throwing things on the ice. It's one thing only: your hat.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't had one of those in a while.
This is true.
But Aho's been close like 3 times.
I think the last one was Aho against the Predators.
I think it was. What was
Either
that?
that or it
ago?
was Martinook's hat trick last season. I don't know which came first. I think Martinook's came first, and then it was Aho's against the Predators.
But Aho was away, right? It wasn't home?
I don't know.
No, it was home. I was there for it.
Was it? Really?
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah, he closed it out in an empty netter.
Okay.
Yeah, Aho's caught fire recently after kind of struggling at the beginning. He's gotten his groove back, and he's on pace for, I believe, a 50-goal season.
Good for him.
You know who else might be on pace for a 50-plus point season?
Like half the roster?
Yeah, but this one you're not usually expecting to score.
A defenseman, maybe?
A defenseman.
I wonder who that might be.
It's Edmondson.
Yeah, it could be.
Edmondson's
what
on
is it?
He's got what, 8 points?
It's
9 points actually?
It's a 6-game point streak now.
Right.
And then you also have Dougie Hamilton on a point streak.
I mean, he's building up a new one. Andrei Svechnikov's on a 7-game point streak. And he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
15 assists, 10 goals. No, sorry, correction. 11 goals. Because he scored last night on the empty netter.
That's true.
Him and Aho are tied for most goals on the team. And then Dougie Hamilton has 10. Do you know who's got the 4th most goals on the team right now?
Is it Dzingel?
Close.
Holla?
Doing well, though.
It is Holla. And that's kind of concerning because it kind of feels like all our scoring is coming from Aho, Hamilton, and Dougie. So my question becomes: is this something to be concerned about? Because Holla has missed 5 games. He should be the guy with the 4th most goals.
Yeah. And Brendan Moore did say, thanks Amanda for reminding me, Brendan Moore did say that he will not be back anytime soon.
I mean, he's probably going to get checked out even more and, just confirm that he's okay. But I think he will be back before the end of the year. I think the Carolina Hurricanes have been really good about managing injuries, and they're really always overshooting return times for these players. So, like Jordan Martinook, he was supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks, and was back in 4. So a lot of these guys are always giving more time than what is needed to rest and recover and get back. But Brendan Moore is also trusting his players to know when they're ready.
Very true. And with the Martinook injury, it was very similar to what's happening with Sidney Crosby, and they're expecting him to be out for almost 2 months.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby being out for 2 months is it's not something I'm gonna cry buckets of tears over, but it is something that is a bit of a concern for the Penguins team. Although, yeah, they're losing recently, but they're losing in overtime, so they're racking up points. I mean, if you look at the standings right now, the team I'm most concerned about right now is the Islanders. And they're on a point streak like no one's business. And they've only lost 3 games in regulation all season. They've played 21 games. To put that in perspective,
last one was to us.
Right, the last time they lost in regulation was to the Carolina Hurricanes, so at least we've got that going for us.
Right.
They're 8-0-2 in their last 10, and it's ridiculous. I'm really concerned about that. Washington's actually teetered off. So Washington's actually teetered off a little bit after their rampant start. They're at 16-4-5 with 37 points. Yes, they are standing on top of not only the Metro, but the entire NHL. With that many points. Carolina's 8th right now, 29. And it's interesting to see the teams that are above them because it's Arizona with 30 points, Dallas with the same exact score at 14-8-2 with 30 points. Edmonton is finally, I guess Connor McDavid's deal with the genie that says he has to be on a team that sucks is kind of up because they're at 33 points. St. Louis is trying to vie for a second Stanley Cup at the same amount of points. Then come the Islanders, Boston, Washington. I mean, if you look at the top 10, I mean, it's incredible. Us in Florida, we're actually tied at 29 points, although we got 2 more wins. So that kind of puts us up above them. But what's interesting to me when it comes to Carolina is that Carolina is actually 6th in the league with goal differentials, and they're actually, if you do the advanced analytics, they're sitting in some of the best analytics when it comes to goal differentials and expected goal differentials, and so it feels like Carolina is really unlucky when it comes to the math. They're very unlucky. They're not getting good bounces, but despite all of that, they're so good, they're actually beating bad luck, which is terrifying because once the luck starts to actually stop being sour and turn sweet for the Carolina Hurricanes, look out. And right now, I'd rather be unlucky early in the season and get lucky late in the season. Especially, I want to be lucky in the playoffs.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing right now, the Hurricanes, their power play is 9th in the NHL, which is something that's virtually unheard of for so many teams in the past, especially under Bill Peters.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a power play that's kind of starting getting to get fed by different players, where Rod Brind'Amour isn't trying to force one dude to be the power play. He's letting players shift in and out, and that's huge. And if you want to talk about, power play percentage, I mean, Carolina is kind of not getting as many power play chances as one would expect. So last year they got a lot of power play chances, and you'd rather just decline them because they were better 5-on-5. But now, they're sitting 9th with a 22.5%. I mean, the teams that are better than them, of course, Tampa Bay's, whoever's coaching their power play needs a fucking medal because it's absolutely out of control. But yeah, no, Carolina's getting better there in that percentage. But if you kind of want to look at their penalty kill, it's kind of concerning. So their penalty kill, they're actually one of the worst teams in the league. And they're sitting at, let's see here, they're at 70.
For Tampa, they are 19th.
Not Tampa, Carolina.
Carolina's 8th in penalty kill.
You're right. Sorry, I looked at the wrong team. Yeah, so their penalty kill correction is actually pretty good. I got concerned there for a second. I saw the wrong numbers. And but that really doesn't, and I was going to say, despite them being bad, but in this case, I'm going to say they're good because of, Sebastian Aho on the penalty kill. He's been putting teams on their heels when they're on their power play because he's very puck aware, and he's always concerned with where the puck is and how he can turn it around into a shorthanded advantage.
Yeah, and that's something that's really good is we have that shorthanded attack now. Not only do Aho have really good chances, Jordan Martinook usually will break out with a chance or two every once in a while. The only problem is that I've seen in the last couple of games is we've been giving up way too many shorthanded advantages.
You're not wrong. And so that's another thing. So Carolina needs to learn to put the sticks down. There are too many sticks are in the air, too many high stickings. Yes, I know the first one last night was kind of it whiffed over by his head, and he never ever touched the Panthers players, and the Panthers got that power play, and eventually, yes, it didn't lead to a power play goal, but the Panthers did have that advantage push, and they scored off of it after the penalty concluded. That said,
the big goal got burned last night, so he got burned twice, but then he got better. He got better. Early on he got better.
the whole team got better, and it's really impressive to see how they're doing. But guys like Andrei Svechnikov, they're cleaning up their act, which is good because he started the season off terribly when it came to penalty taking. Too many high sticks, too many tripping calls, but really a lot of their infractions are stick infractions. And knowing Rod Brindamore and the straight shooter that he is, that's not something that they can continue to do and stay within his good graces.
Very, very, very true.
That's fair. I've noticed that too. For some reason, they just seem to keep picking their sticks up. And I mean, even in kids hockey, it's like, that's one of the big things. Get your stick down. Make sure it's on the ice. So I don't know.
Absolutely. No, I get it. They're pushing for the puck. They want the puck just as much as anyone else wants the puck. So naturally, of course, they're going to push to get that puck to their defense to push
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things the Canes do need to work on with the sticks. One problem that, oh my gosh, with the game that they had in Philadelphia, it seemed nobody could do anything without getting a 2-minute minor or a 10-minute misconduct.
Yeah.
I mean, that game, I'll be honest, even though the Flyers did win, it was a 50-50 shot of who was going to be in the box last. It was a ridiculously officiated game that, unfortunately for the Hurricanes, even though they battled back, they just couldn't finish.
And sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes you get those ridiculous games where you don't know where they're going, where they're coming from, and sometimes you just gotta push through the bad luck. Sometimes you gotta push through bad officiating and just be better.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, Tim Peel wasn't even officiating the game, so I was surprised.
Yeah. I mean, there's more than Tim Peel.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, but we all know Tim Peel is like Hurricane Kryptonite.
He is, for real.
I'm not gonna go into a lot about Tim Peel and his
Yeah, this podcast would go way too long.
Absolutely, no. We can go days talking about good old Tim Peel.
Yeah.
Or as Mincher would say, the Tim Peel light has been lit.
Yes, that is entirely true. But we have other teams to talk about. Let's move on down to Charlotte, and they're doing better. They're still struggling a bit with that new roster, the new head coach, but they're doing a lot better. Alex Nedeljkovic is firing on all cylinders at the moment. He has 2 shutouts in the last week.
Charlotte's been different from the team of the 3 years past, and of course, coaching is a big part of it. You got a new rookie head coach who is trying to fill in huge shoes, right? He's trying to fill in the shoes of a Stanley Cup, not a Stanley Cup champion, a Calder Cup champion. And it brings me to thinking how Todd Reardon is trying to do the same thing with Washington, trying to step in for Barry Trotz, right? But when you think about it, it's a lot less pressure. But the Checkers lost a lot of players, right? And not just players that have left the organization, but players have moved up. Brian Gibbons, for not having him actually hurt for a while there. Not having Eetu Lesterainen is something else that's going to pain them. Missing Martin Necas altogether. He was their Alex Ovechkin. He was, their power play scorer, their power play QB, their power play everything. He was the power play last year, and he's starting to show a little bits of that up with the Carolina Hurricanes, especially, he's building himself a real Calder Cup winning chance. I mean, if it wasn't for Cale Makar of the Avalanche, then Martin Necas would be the Calder Cup favorite right now. There's still time for him to build his case And Color is a defenseman who's throwing ridiculous numbers around, but maybe eventually they'll figure him out. Time will tell.
Yeah, how much longer is it until we get him? Oh, that's gonna be a fun game.
Against the Avalanche, yeah. It'll be a kind of a test to prove who is the better,
natural disaster.
Rookie. Natural disaster, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
the Checkers, they're doing better. The last couple of weeks, they played better. They lost a couple of games they're not losing in blowouts anymore. They're losing in overtime. They're losing 1-goal games where it's really close and it could go either way. So it could be a matter of time before the coin flips and they actually start winning these close games.
True.
I mean, look at last night. They played at Wilkes-Barre Scranton against their former coach for the first time. Alex Nedeljkovic became a wall, and they won 1-0.
Sometimes you need those 1-0 games. That's how you build your confidence up. Like, yes, we can win even with the smallest of margins. And honestly, it only gets smaller than 1-0 if you win 0-0 in the shootout.
That is true. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Last season, the Islanders and Tampa and Bolts, they went to a 0-0 shootout, and it was interesting because even in the shootout, there's only a single goal scored.
Yeah.
So that's a wild defensive game right there. In the NHL, no matter how much it tries to open up scoring, with making smaller goalie pads and all this other nonsense and trying to open up, 3-on-3 in overtime, still defenses win you games.
True. Now, with the Charlotte Checkers, there is one checker that people were begging to be called up for yesterday's game for Hockey Fights Cancer Night. And that was Stelio Matthews. Everybody was calling for him to come up because he's a cancer survivor, and everybody thought it would be a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great idea. I think that would have been good.
Yeah, so Carolina's entire Hockey Fights Cancer program, marketing, everything worked amazing. I think this is the first time I've seen all those names written down on players' jerseys that you can actually go out and buy. Stelio Matthews, of course, is a cancer survivor. Honestly, he's hurt right now, so that's probably the reason he wasn't actually called up. I mean, to have him on the ice would have been stellar. But he's still fighting I think it's a knee injury. He's taken a couple of bumps and grinds. Whether or not he'll return to form this season, I'm not really sure of. But maybe even if he doesn't, next season could be an opportunity for him to come up and personally tell his story to the crowd before the game and get everyone kind of pumped up for that.
Very true. The little video vignette that they had for him on Twitter and on social media, that was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got the Checkers off. Let's check them off the list. Check. All right, now let's head to Omar and his favorite team, the Fayetteville Marksmen.
So Fayetteville has had an outstanding start to their season. I mean, they've only got 2 regulation losses all season so far. They're crushing it. They're killing it. They're sitting on top of the SBHL, and quite honestly, they're looking more like an ECHL team than they are an SBHL team. And that's really good news for their ownership, their management, and really for everyone involved. They've taken advantage of all the good hockey in North Carolina around them. They had their Bunch of Jerks night, and you guys went to that. I unfortunately did not get the chance to join you. You guys went with all our good friends over at Red Eyed Rowdies, amongst other groups, and enjoyed a little back-to-back hockey because the Canes were on the road earlier that day. So they got their win there, and then we got our win down in Fayetteville. And so,
yes, it was a fun game.
That was a lot of fun.
I mean, ticket-wise, it was pretty well sold. It was pretty well sold for a Saturday game, and it was a lot of fun. They had Stormy, they had the Siren, Hamilton the Pig made his way down. Wade Minter, some of the Storm Squad. They made it feel like the Hurricanes actually were trying to be like a partnership with a lower level team. And it felt amazing, and so many people were having fun. They were giving away Canes prize packages. They did the auctions for the jerseys, and oh man, those jerseys sold. I think the cheapest was like $400.
Yeah, those T-shirts really sold a lot too. I went and got one, I think, after the first period. All they had left was small and medium. I mean, extra small and medium. That's all they had left, and that was just after the first period.
Yeah.
So those shirts sold really, really well. I don't think they anticipated the demand for them.
It was indeed very high, and the game itself was very entertaining. It was very back and forth. A lot of physicality. There was 3 or 4 fights.
Yeah, I mean it is the SPHL,
It's
a little bit more scrappiness to their game, absolutely.
And then we got to see some of our buddies. We got to see Remy, Jeff, KP. They went out onto the ice to play a little broom ball.
And
Shout
Danielle.
out to all those guys.
And Danielle. Danielle was out there too. We can't forget Danielle.
No.
Jared went out there to play some knocker soccer.
Yes, that's true. It's funny how they kept coming up to our section and looking for people. I don't know if we just had the biggest organized, fan section or what, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Amanda, you had a nice conversation with Chuck Norris.
Yes, I did. Chuck Norris, the owner of the Marksmen.
Not the Chuck Norris. There is another one, as Yoda would say.
Yeah. Super, super nice guy. He was so accommodating and welcoming, and he's, pretty active on Twitter too. And it was just really nice to meet him face to face.
Yeah, he is a fan of us.
And he is a fan of us.
Norris.
He put a little button on his shirt. I thought that was great. Super, great guy.
Chuck Norris, the owner of the Fayetteville Marksmen, he is actually a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces, and when he took over as the owner for the Fayetteville Marksmen, he approached it the same kind of style that actually Tom Dundon has. He's been a little bit more hands-on with the team, changed their name from the Fire Ants to the more locally appropriate Marksmen to honor the military service around Fayetteville and Fort Bragg in the region, and I've talked to him personally. He's very welcoming of new ideas, new thought patterns, taking really a new approach to dealing with hockey around them, and not just bringing Carolina hockey in a vacuum, but bringing Carolina hockey in concurrence with all the different hockey teams around, pulling players up from the Thunderbirds, and also, doing the Carolina themed night. Their jerseys for that night were pretty sweet, kind of reflective of our Carolina Hurricanes third jerseys. So it was very sweet to see that they brought in Wade Minter to, not call the game so much, but to actually do his PA job there, with that team. So it was very fun to see all that happening in a very small town, very small market hockey. That was, it was a joy, really. And then, have we talked about the Storm Surge they did?
The football play.
They actually went out and did a Storm Surge. It was featured on ESPN,
NHL Network.
Channel. Yeah, oh, wow.
So, it made its rounds, and it brought some attention to the Fayetteville, some much needed attention to the Fayetteville Marksmen.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, tickets are cheap. They're really cheap. Just go down there. They're like $10 for a regular seat. For up right next to the glass, it's $25.
Mm-hmm.
It's not expensive.
It's well worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fans I can't say I've had the best experiences with the fans, but they are a different kind of fan. I'm used to the Canes fan where they seem to be more, kind of like everybody really gets along and they're family and it just has like a more positive vibe and definitely the fan base is a little grittier. But I mean, we had a great time. Everybody still had fun.
Yeah.
But they're hardcore down there.
Yeah, but going back to like the Canes game happening at the same time, me and Kilted Caniac Jeff, we drove down together, and Jeff was streaming the game the whole way down there. And then
That's dangerous.
Right?
He was in the passenger seat. I was driving.
Okay.
I was just listening.
You didn't say he was driving. I'm just saying.
No, I'm driving. And then when we got down to Fayetteville, we went to the ale house, met up with a bunch of the Red Eye Rowdies, watched most of the later second and early third period, and then we made a big mistake that day. We decided to leave and go to the parking lot to watch the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so cold. It was like 20 mile an hour winds, and it was like 40 degrees outside. It was a mistake. But the Canes won. So we were happy. We were drinking beers in the parking lot, and then as soon as the game ended, we were like, okay, pack everything up, run inside.
Yeah. It was cool. I had a very fun, full carload, and I've got the Hockey Mom-mobile, so I can fit more people in, and I definitely did that. We had Jordan and his girlfriend and Remy and my two girls and Renee. I mean, it was the party van on the way down there. It was a blast.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make more trips down there, especially when you're back with us, Omar.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I don't have to actually do the trip down there, and you guys come down to me.
Yeah, but you gotta come up to us, so it makes both ways.
I guess. But yeah, so, lot to enjoy from those games.
Yeah, it is well worth it. And then another bunch of players that are really fun to watch right now. The Carolina Thunderbirds continue their championship tear. They are just tearing through the FPHL right now.
Yeah.
And they are selling out the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds arena, I believe is what it's called. But it's a small arena. It's a lot smaller than the Crown Coliseum. But these fans are dedicated. They're going to these games. They're having fun. And the Thunderbirds are performing. And they're not just performing, winning it by like 1 goal or 2 goals. Last night, they won 8-3.
Good for them.
There you have it.
So I'm like, look around. There's so much good hockey going on. There's no excuse for you to live in North Carolina and not be a hockey fan. There's so much good hockey.
There is, definitely.
Carolina is a hockey state. Anyone who says otherwise can take a hike.
That is true.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Right.
Well, and South Carolina. We got to include Greenville.
Yeah. I mean, we've got South Carolina also has, not only do they have the swamp rabbits, but they've also got, God, I cannot speak. I'm sorry.
Words are hard.
Yes.
Words are hard.
Stingrays.
How are Yes. There's the Stingrays. The Stingrays are the ECHL affiliate of the Washington Capitals, correct? And the Swamp Rabbits are the ACHL affiliate of the Carolina Hurricanes and the National
Florida.
Predators? No, Florida Panthers. National Predators took over the Everblades.
Yes. Now let's think about this real quick, like how full circle this goes. South Carolina, the Stingrays, the last time they went to a Kelly Cup was with the current head coach of the Charlotte Checkers. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, let's see where that goes. I mean, in North Carolina and South Carolina, we're trying to turn everybody into a hockey power.
It's great.
Yeah, things are going good in North Carolina, but let's take a quick look somewhere else. Amanda, you are up.
Oh, sorry, gotta put my glasses back on. Okay. All right. NWHL is they're doing pretty good. The Boston Pride is doing amazing. They've got 18 points right now. They are in the top. Minnesota's with 9, Buffalo's with 8, which is shocking to me. Metropolitan 2, Connecticut 1. Not terribly shocking, but they're doing pretty great. They've got games going on this weekend. Obviously, they only have weekend games right now.
Yeah. They still on. Make sure you check them out on Twitch.
Yes, they're still on Twitch. You can live stream them. They've got a game going today. Then they've got next weekend. Next weekend, Buffalo versus Connecticut at 4:30. Metropolitan versus Boston at 6:30. And then they have a game on Sundays. Then there's games on Sundays as well.
They had some big news with funding, didn't they?
Yeah, they have a new investor. So I think there's a total of 10 now. And then the sponsorship just keeps popping up. There's more and more sponsors here and there. And that it's great. I mean, it's getting the attention it deserves, and I love the progression that's happening. The PWHPA just announced that they're going to have 2 more showcases coming up. They have not announced the locations as of yet. They teased maybe Philly, but we'll see. They've got a showcase coming up in Toronto, sponsored by Secret. That's January 11th and 12th. I'm sure that will be streamed as well. But yeah, they teased it, but they really haven't announced the showcase locations and dates as of yet. I'm really hoping that comes out soon. And I'm really hoping it's at a drivable location, which will be fantastic because I would love to see that in person. The names are just phenomenal that are in there. It's just the players, I mean, just some of the highest ranking women's players are in these showcases, and it's just amazing, and I would love to see it. I would totally fangirl out. But
I would pay somebody to get that video so we can put it on Twitter.
Of me fangirling out?
Yeah, I'll get Rayla and be like, hey, Rayla, videotape mom.
Oh, she'll be right there with me. But these girls are like, oh, hey, how you doing? To her, but to me, I'm like,
Also in women's hockey, make sure everybody checks out the NC State women's club hockey team. They're still doing fundraisers for hopefully their first season next year. So
yeah.
make sure you check them out and buy their merch.
Yeah, I just got one of their T-shirts. They're doing a fundraiser for a T-shirt, so I had to go buy one, and I will proudly wear that. I would still love to get in touch with somebody over there and pick their brains and see what I can do to help, and proudly scream their endorsement.
Maybe we could use the power of the pod to get that out there.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of college hockey, college hockey in North Carolina.
College hockey.
It's going good. UNC is doing really well after, if you haven't seen on social media, there was an incident with the UNC goaltender. He had his car robbed, and his goalie equipment was in the car. And they did find the car, but the goalie equipment was gone by that point. So the hockey community got together, had a fundraiser. They were asking for, I think, $5,000. the last time I checked which was like 4 days ago, they raised over $6,000.
That's great.
So that's good. That's good to know, because UNC actually had to cancel a hockey game against UNC Charlotte because of this.
Yeah, and that's really crappy. I would love to know what the people who stole the card did with the hockey equipment, or if they even knew what it was or what to do with it. You know, I don't know. Did they sell it? Did they just throw it out? Did they
probably
look at
just
it?
took it to a Play It Again Sports.
Stuff?
Yeah, that would make sense.
I could see them selling it to a Play It Again Sports.
Yeah, but I'm sure they would be on the lookout for that, because it was pretty publicly, known. And I know that, Play Again Sports will keep a lookout on stuff like that. I've gotten stuff at work from them before that were actually stolen. But it's just, I hope that they would recognize it if they do try to sell it. So you can get it back. But I don't know. My cynical mind just says they probably looked at it and said, what the hell is this? And just threw it out,
Yeah, but it's great to see the community come together, give help to this guy, and he has his equipment. Everything's good, thankfully, because something coming up is fun. On November 25th, it's the Backyard Brawl for the Governor's Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That is a lot of fun. If you haven't been to one of those games, folks, it's an entire different atmosphere. You get college atmosphere with hockey in a college state. Let's be honest, Carolina's a college state. And if you're not there, you're missing out. Absolutely missing out. Even if you aren't really that big of a hockey fan, I don't know why you're listening to us. If you aren't, maybe your best friend tells you.
Maybe we're trying to convert them into a hockey fan.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely, you're welcome into the hockey fandom. But absolutely, if you think I don't like professional sports, I don't like the college kids because I like seeing children play. Anyways,
Ew.
Yeah.
That is where you need to be at. There's an atmosphere there that just can't be replicated.
Yep. It's 7:00 at PNC Arena. It is free. It is free to go in, but a donation of $5 is highly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And last time these two played against each other, the lower bowl of PNC, which holds what is it, 10,000 people? Something like that. Yeah. It was over halfway full.
That's great. I really want to go. Hopefully I'll be able to. We'll see. You are going, right, Zach?
I am going to if I have to stay late at work, I will literally drive from work and just sit in the parking lot going, sipping a beer.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I know I have to work, but we'll have to see what's going on in the evening.
Plus our buddy Zach is going to be, our other Zach from NC State, he's going to be there as well, helping out with the NC State hockey social media.
Yeah, that's good.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, we all love you, Zach.
Cool.
And it's going to be a good game, because last year it was all NC State. It was NC State one-sided. This year UNC is so much better. So it will be a good game. It will honestly be a very close game.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, Duke, they're doing about 500. They're not doing bad. They're not doing great, but they're still chugging along. Wake Forest is doing really well early on this season. They also play at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Complex, same place as the Thunderbirds. So if you want to make your way out there, you're more than welcome. They just played NC State, and NC State won in overtime. But it was a very fun game to watch. All these schools stream their games. So if you don't show up, there's always a way to find it. Just check them out on Twitter, and they'll have a link for you.
There you got it, folks.
And then let's see, UNC Charlotte. They're on a good season so far. They actually, I believe, they've beaten UNC and Wake Forest so far.
Mm-hmm.
So the UNC Charlotte, the 49ers, getting some vibes from the Checkers. They're doing really well. And I'm still waiting on more news from High Point from their official transition into NCAA. But they are still, as of this moment, they are still going to be the first men's collegiate hockey team in the state. As a top level.
Carolina hockey grows some more.
Yep.
No.
Oh, I forgot one thing. I have to mention this. ECU hockey. Not many people knew they have hockey, did they?
No.
They actually beat UNC last week.
Ooh.
Wow.
About a backyard brawl.
Big ups to the ECU Pirate hockey team.
R.
Look at that.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah, it's a pirate reference. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
As is tradition.
As is tradition. We have to make these silly references. All right. That is pretty much it from the state of North Carolina hockey. Let's look into the future. So obviously tonight we got Detroit. Reimer's probably getting the start.
Yeah, and on the other side, it'll probably be Jimmy Howard. Honestly, for tonight's game, they need to pick up where they left off, right? Because last time these two teams played, it was a barn burner. A 7-3 game where 10 goals were scored. 6 different Hurricanes found the back of the net. So many points to go around. And that's just because Detroit's defense is Swiss cheese. Now,
Yes.
That said, our own defense needs to tighten it up, right? No matter who's in net, whether or not we actually play Peter Mrazek back to back, which I absolutely doubt. It's probably going to be James Reimer in net, and whoever's in front of him needs to tighten it up. And I'm talking to you, Jake Gardner. You need to completely tighten up whatever it is you're trying to do here. Figure out whether you're trying to play offense or defense, whether you're going to be a la Dougie Hamilton or a la Jacob Slavin. Whatever you're trying is not working right now. And when I'm talking to Dougie Hamilton, he's been amazing on both ends of the ice. I mean, You're talking about the guy who's leading the team in team's defense, really, in almost every aspect. Jacob Slavin's right there with him. He absolutely earns the A that he's wearing. So he's been amazing. But my question is, should they put in Fleury tonight? And I absolutely think Fleury should play over TVR tonight. I'm not really impressed with Trevor, honestly.
It seems since that shoulder injury in the playoffs versus the Islanders, he has not been the same.
I mean, he's been good-ish. He's played to the level we've always expected of him. But honestly, I think Fleury, with his higher ceiling, has been playing better. Now, granted, they could be playing TVR to get him more ice time, to get him in front of more eyes, scouts, whoever's trying to build a trade package for him, be it Toronto, be it whomever. So, hey, we don't know what's going on in the great minds of Don Waddell and Rob Brindamore. But, hey, team is winning more often than it's losing.
Very true. And after that, we head to Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, take on the Rangers and King Lundqvist.
You mean just take on Lundqvist because the Rangers are name it? It's just Lundqvist, isn't that? Really, that's all we gotta do. We beat Lundqvist, we beat the team. And that's an important thing because the last couple of games against Lundqvist have been nightmares, right? It took Sacramento Lennon to beat him in the most absurd ways. And honestly, every single goal against Lundqvist has been an absurd goal where it's just like, you can't stop that no matter who you are. We haven't been able to get anything squeezed by him, and he's really that good. Even at the age that he is, Don Draper, Lundqvist has been amazing.
Very true. Very, 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 very true. And then after that, we have a fun game that people have been waiting for since that preseason matchup this year. The Predators come to PNC Arena on Black Friday.
So our better-looking cousins that do not have a cup are coming.
With those ugly outdoor games.
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Better looking.
So here's my question. Here's my question. If we're not going to have an outdoor game against Nashville, because they're getting one this year, who would we have an outdoor game against?
Caps.
That's what I was going to say,
Washington?
Capital.
I think they're trying to build this rivalry with Washington. But what if, and hear me out here, the Islanders. And I'll tell you why they might just do the Islanders and then bring them down to,
Because of all the away fans they get when they come here?
No, because they can't figure out which arena they play in.
Yeah, that is true. Though they do have permission to start building the Belmont Center. So that is happening. The problem is it's just going to take 2 to 3 years for it to be finished.
Yeah. Well, let's see who builds their arena first, them or Seattle.
Seattle's is already built. They're just waiting for it to be finished.
Yeah,
they're renovation.
They're really just renovating. They're not building a new arena. Which brings up, it looks nice. So I'm going to bring up a quick question to close out this episode. Alright? Now this is going to be a monster of a question.
Oh boy.
If Raleigh decides to build a sports complex downtown for a new soccer field, maybe some other sports fields, would you like to see them build a new hockey arena in that complex to be downtown and move the team from PNC Arena there? Because PNC Arena has been graded, or I say has voted as one of the worst arenas to play in by hockey players, just because of where it's at and how there's nothing around it.
Okay. I'll chime in a little bit. Well, one, I kind of like that it's not downtown, mainly because we don't have a very good public transit system. If we had a bigger public transportation system, I would say yes, because it would be easier to get down there. The traffic wouldn't be as insane. But when you put a major sports complex down there, it's going to be crazy as far as traffic goes. I mean, yeah, you have some traffic issues at PNC Arena, but it's not as populated down there, so I think it flows a little bit better. Yeah, PNC Arena, I definitely is due for some major upgrades, having been to other.
You wouldn't build the parking around it the same way the parking is around PNC, right? You'd build, parking would be kind of disconjointed, kind of like how it is around the St. Louis arena, where there's multiple parking lots. Everyone parks wherever they park, and then they all together, everyone just walks over to the arena from there.
Yeah, but how is that going to affect the tailgate atmosphere as well?
It would absolutely ruin the tailgate atmosphere if they do that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things where PNC has an absolute advantage of over at Downtown Arena. Maybe this is something we can ask the listeners to chime in the future. Wherever you find this episode, whether it's on our website, or it's on Twitter, or you find it on Facebook, wherever you find this, chime in with your opinion on this matter. I really want to read what you guys have to say to this. And I think with that, we conclude our episode.
Yay.
You guys have anything else?
I think we've covered it. I mean, it takes so long for us to get together. We have to cover a lot, but
hopefully in the future, a lot more episodes to come your way, guys. Redvolution Rampage is here to stay. We haven't gone away, so don't worry about that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you always got us on Twitter. We always active on that.
Oh yeah.
Especially
All
Omar.
right. Yes. I'm here. Follow me on Twitter, guys. I can use
Follow everybody on Twitter and the pods.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a great way to close out this, and let's go Canes tonight in Detroit. Hopefully by the time you're listening to this, you're also celebrating another win over the Dead Wings and where they're going from there. All right. This was Redvolution Rampage. I was Omar.
I'm Zach.
Amanda.
See y'all next time.